So before we start the interview, I just like to say thank you actually for allowing us to interview.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy times,
No doubt.
so it must be pretty busy. You know, you have family members to check up on and all that. So I just like to say thank you for that. So for the first question, so I'd like to know more about you as a person. Like, who are you as a person?
I'd say like Ahniel, a driven fashion designer that just I don't know came up from a poverty type area in low income area in Jane and Lawrence, like the south side of Jane,
Yeah.
and seen pretty much like a better route of life and just understood that like certain things are not worth it in life and that there's more out there, like there's another side of life, and just always like was driven for that, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just came up on my own upbringing with like ups and downs and like failures, but learning through the failures, and brought me to where I am today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. Cause honestly, I grew up around that area too. Jane and not Jane and Lawrence though, like Jane and Finch, Jane and Church area. So I know how
Yeah.
it's around there. It's pretty crazy, bro. It's survival of the fittest. To be honest.
Facts. Yeah.
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 So
Real
what
talk.
are your current favorite pieces for like your line?
I'd say the patchwork denim. All my denims is like my favorite pieces. All my denim jeans is
Yeah.
like the focus pretty much right now because I see like how it's like taking off itself. But I've created my own like manufacturing factory, which I'm in the process of doing right now.
Yeah.
So like anything further that I release is gonna be like completely like cut and sewn strictly from my factory, and just it's another level of creation when you could do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
So just straight denim then, just denim.
On my denim, I think my t-shirt ideas that I'm about to come out with is gonna be pretty crazy because it's all like completely different, and like yeah, the denim that I'm like in love with right now though, like where the creativity is brought me, you know. So yeah.
How do you think the pandemic like changed your creative process? Do you feel like it maybe inspired you to create more denim clothes, or?
No, I wouldn't say inspire me to create more denim clothes. I'd say more so inspire to highlight like social outreach connections, like connections that you have with people one-on-one, and understanding that like mental illness is not only important but like very important. Like human connection and speaking to someone and having that like individual one-on-one conversation goes so much further when it's taken away with like social distancing, you know.
That's tough.
And I feel like moving forward to highlight that in my clothing, there's gonna be a few concepts that I even already have that I want to like put like a spotlight on.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Toronto fashion scene right now in terms of like just creative process and all that?
Yeah, I'd say like if I'm being like honest, but it could be better.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just comes down to infrastructure. Like it takes like creatives like myself, like there's Valari, there's like Lone with Prescribed Shelter, there's like a bunch of us that's like driving the narrative of like streetwear and like how much we mean to the community, and like that should spill over into like the Toronto fashion scene as a whole. I don't feel like it's like there as opposed to like when you think of UK, like obviously Paris, but like even New York, and how like grimy New York is, and like how the essence of streetwear speaks to their whole culture, you know. So I think obviously we could do better. Yeah.
That's true. Still, 'cause I don't really, because as you said before, New York and a lot of these places or big cities have their own distinct fashion, you know, like a staple for the fashion.
Yeah.
Toronto, I don't know if Toronto has that, to be honest with you. Like,
I mean, like it does. It's just not as potent because like you gotta think of it like if we're all being real. Before it's like people from Toronto would try to be like Americans in a way where they didn't have their own like Drake, you know, to give us that we could talk like man them like walk on like you know, and it's cool. So like trying to adapt to that like Atlanta Southern type accent, you know, where you know what I mean. So it's just a sense of identity, and like people like Drake kick that door down. It's like, yo, be yourself. Now you have Pressa like killing in the rap scene, and like you know the Navs and shit. But yeah, I think it took that to like give us that lane, you know. Because it was always there. It was just like, I guess it wasn't as perceived as important, but it was always there.
Yeah, I feel like it also has to do with Toronto is kind of a place for immigrants as well. It's really multicultural, and a lot of our slang is not even doesn't even originate from Toronto. It's Caribbean slang, it's UK slang. So I think
heavily Caribbean. Yeah,
it's finding that identity. So I guess it kind of ties in with fashion as well. Maybe that's why we maybe take other people's fashions and take it for our own, and then create our own stuff with that. So
yeah. Well, I did have this fashion as a whole, like getting inspired from other designers to like top tier designers like Virgil. You could see the instances of like where they take a spin off from like Vetements or like Gucci and they make it their own. They all do it.
Yeah, it's facts. So how do you identify yourself as a black fashion designer within the fashion industry?
That's exactly what it is. I'm a black fashion designer that came from the gutter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't one much for like Toronto Fashion Week to like debut my collection there.
Mm-hmm.
I was always more like, I'm gonna stick with the culture because they're the ones that have been supporting me. And then when like let's say Toronto Fashion Week, the execs like get a note of it, that's cool. But like I've built this entire thing on my ones and like the people that support me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I understand it in a way where it's like I'd rather have the culture support me because that's the narrative that I drive because of my upbringing than just like selling out and try to like, oh, I'm mainstream now, you know? And that just ties into be like, I could have done like, I could have been a part of Fashion Art Toronto and like try to submit my pieces and like have them enroll me and like have a fashion show. But I said no, I'm gonna do my own fashion show because it was around the same time.
Yeah.
And I had over 300 people come, and I got sponsored from Remy Martin. You know, it just shows like if you're able to do the work and like believe in yourself, it just goes so much further.
That's facts. Because honestly, we as black people have to create our own. To be honest, we start to create our own business.
Yeah, black owned things.
Facts.
Black owned things. You know.
Facts. So how long have you been in the fashion industry for? And like, how long did it take for you to see success?
I'd say I've been taking it serious for like 3-4 years. But before that, it was like all research, like understanding like trial and error, like what brands do like what designer did this because of this, and then listening to like a lot of like lectures, like fashion theory on YouTube. I didn't go to school for this at all. This is all like self-taught.
Oh, it's all self-taught. You have no schooling, none of that.
No school, bro. You don't need it. It's life.
That's true still, because honestly, the internet's there for us as well. Like I feel like the internet's our greatest teacher nowadays. Because like you don't even need school a lot of the times.
It's a massive tool.
Yeah,
facts. It's just like if you want to learn it, you're gonna learn it. You know what I mean? And then while you're learning it, it's not really like, oh, I'm doing this because of school, and it's just like I want to do this. You know.
So do you feel like over the 3 to 4 years you've been creating fashion, that your designs grow with you as you mature as a person, or it's just
Yeah, I always, if I'm being harsh, I always think my old collections are shit as I propel. Like I look back, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know, and it's just like I'm in this space now. Because the fashion, like I like to like live in the now, and like I always stay true to like if I go through something or anything that happens that I see, because I feel like I just get inspired by life and the things that move around me with that type of energy, you know. So if anything comes into my life and I feel like it's inspo, I'll pull from it, and it'll be like related in my fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's sick. That's sick. So what hip hop album best describes your 2029 fashion or fall fashion?
2029?
Yeah.
It's far. I don't know.
All right, how about this year, 2020?
If I'm saying 2029, I'd say what's that album Jay-Z dropped? I was listening to it yesterday.
444?
Yeah, I would say that. It's all theory. It's all pushing the because it's all like if you listen to it and you listen to the in betweens, telling a story of like I'm giving you this knowledge that they don't want me to give you. Stop me if I'm lying, but I'm trying to push my people for it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what this whole thing's based off. You know what I mean? It's like black owned things. But if I'm saying 2020, because I'm in the grunge and I know like the next thing I drop is gonna be crazy,
Yeah.
I'd say Drake Dark Lane tapes or Demo Lane tapes.
Okay.
The one that you just dropped.
Yeah, the one you just dropped.
Yeah, sure.
So that would best
specific
describe you right
War.
now.
Yeah, specific song War.
Why you think so?
You gotta listen to it, man.
I listen to it though. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like I just know like that I'm taking my brand, myself, and separating it. And then it's like I don't even have to say shit. It's just you're gonna see it, you're gonna witness it.
Wow.
That's the vibe.
No, that's pretty sick. That's, to be honest, that's all the questions we have for you today. Thank you so much for even taking your time out, man. I really appreciate a part of the Real Magazine team. We really appreciate that you were able to. So yeah, that's the end of the interview. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. Keep killing it, bro.